Oh, hey! Sorry about that. Welcome back to the Boston Chris podcast. And if you're new, I would love to earn your subscription or follow with this brand new episode of the show featuring Ben James, the newest permanent member of the Oak Ridge Boys. Let me tell you a little bit more about Ben. Now, Benjamin James was born in Hickory, North Carolina, and grew up in the small town of Icard, North Carolina. He grew up in a musical family, and almost from the time he could talk, he was singing gospel harmony in church with his family. His first public performance was singing John Anderson's Swingin' at his elementary school talent show, and from that moment on, he was hooked. Later, in high school and college, he sang with a country band. Now, Ben enrolled at Lenoir Rhine University in 2014 and played golf for the school. In 2016, he transferred to Appalachian State University, graduating in 2018 with a bachelor's in risk management and insurance. After college, he took a job in insurance. However, music continued to beckon, and within 2 years, Ben made the move to Nashville. He was recording demos one day at Hilltop Studio when he ran into Jimmy Fortune, who had always been one of his heroes. Jimmy was scheduled to perform with Mike Rogers, Josh Swift, and Ben Isaacs at the Station Inn that night, and he invited Ben to join him. On the last song, he invited Ben to the stage to sing Elizabeth with him. That evening would prove to be pivotal in Ben's career. Several people who heard him that night told Doyle Lawson about him. Lawson was looking for a high lead tenor singer for his group Quicksilver, and he called Ben to audition. Ben was hired for the job and stayed from 2020 until Lawson's retirement at the end of 2021. And during that time, Lawson and Quicksilver won the 2022 International Bluegrass Music Association Vocal Group of the Year. I will never forget what I learned from Doyle and the guys in that band, Ben says. They shaped me a lot musically, and I am forever grateful for that opportunity. Now, after Doyle's retirement, Ben joined another bluegrass music staple, Grand Ole Opry members Dailey and Vincent. He sang with them from the beginning of 2022 until 2023. And the first time Ben saw the Oak Ridge Boys live was when he was on the road with Dailey and Vincent. It was 2022 in Wheeling, West Virginia. Joe handed me the mic and said, "You've got the next verse." And I'm not sure I will ever get over that moment. Elvira was always on repeat when I was growing up. It's still one of those timeless songs that never grows old. Now, Ben is also a songwriter, and two of his songs, I Hear You Calling and Teardrops in Tennessee, are on his latest solo album, Wonderland. The latter song debuted at #1 on Bluegrass Radio. In his spare time, Ben is an avid outdoorsman, and he can often be found in the woods hunting. He also enjoys playing golf. And guys, we are so freaking excited to have Ben James from the Oak Ridge Boys here for the first time on the Boston Chris Show. And without any further ado, guys, let's get into it with the one and the frickin' only Ben James.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
All right. Hey, this is Jerry Phillips, and thank you for tuning into the Boston Chris Show.
Guys, it's Ben James week here on the Boston Chris podcast. Ben, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing
Thanks for having
great.
me.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Man, I'm so stoked to chat with you. We just talked to William a couple weeks ago, William Lee Golden, and man, he was talking you up big time, man.
He's too kind.
Man, this is got to be surreal for you, right? Like this life you're leading, and just playing and singing with some of the most iconic bands in the history of music, right?
You're right. I was actually telling my buddy earlier today. It's just I have a dream job. You know?
It's pretty dope.
Pretty crazy.
And you're a songwriter too, so I did want to focus on a couple of your songs. That's kind of our gist here. We like to tell the stories behind the songs. So let's talk a little bit about I Hear You Calling. Tell me about this song.
You know, that song is That song's pretty cool. I wrote it with my buddy Eli Johnston. We were just sitting on a riverbank. He started playing, and that song's crazy because a lot of people can take it from the sense of like an old lover,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the way I wrote it. But then after I released it and everything, some people take it as like a loved one that's passed on, which I think that's really cool because you know they can feel it however they want to.
Right.
But I wrote it in one sense, people take it in another, so I thought that was awesome. I never really crossed my mind, but yeah, that's a cool song.
When you hear that reaction or that response to a song, and you wrote it and you didn't mean it in that way, is that a little surprising to you? Do you go back and
It
listen to it
is.
again from a different perspective?
I definitely do, and like I said, I mean that's a really cool. It never crossed my mind for somebody to take it like their mother, their dad, or their grandparents or whomever, and it's they took it the other way. I mean that's cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
They
thing
can
about
do that.
art, right? Like you put it out into the world
Hmm.
and you have no idea where it's going to travel from there. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
100%.
So we're very biographical on this show too, and from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, you grew up in Hickory, North Carolina. Is that correct?
That's right.
So what's it like growing up in that part of the world?
It's the town I grew up in. Actually grew up in Icard, North Carolina, which is just 10, 12, 15 minutes down the road from Hickory. It's like it's stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good old folks that that I learned from, and it was a perfect place to grow up. I had a great childhood, great parents, and that place is just it's special to me, and it's one of a kind. It's you get a lot of bluegrass and gospel roots there, and grew up singing in church, and um, like I said, man, it's stuck in the '80s. I love it. I love that place.
Do you kind of remember you talked about gospel and bluegrass influences, which is obvious. I mean, we can look back
Hmm.
and see that that's where you ended up. But do you kind of remember the first real memory you have being involved in music, and um, can kind of trace your start back to?
Yeah, that was definitely in church. My dad is a Baptist preacher of a church of two or three hundred and in a town of 1,100. So, yeah, I grew up singing in church. That's my first introduction. My dad was in a quartet when he was young, and we always listened to the gospel music, and gospel harmonies is what I grew up on. And yeah, my first memories is riding down the road with my dad, listening to Gold City and the cathedrals and all the old gospel quartets, and first memories of singing is in church.
So was it vocally? Is the genesis of Ben James in the music business? Does it start with vocals?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, I mean, looking at who you are now, I mean, you're just so vocally unique, right? So, like, how does
Thank
that?
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. How does that start, like, for you as a kid? I imagine this all started as a kid, just finding out who you are vocally.
Yeah, I mean, I could always sing high, and that was what made me kind of weird growing up. But um, again, it was just my dad, my mom, my sister. We were always singing, and it was always church and gospel harmonies. That's where it all started.
And so you mentioned that it was a little, I don't want to use the word weird because it's not the right word, but just unique, having this unique vocal. I imagine you're probably getting some blowback and maybe some trolling and bullying and stuff like that. So how do you kind of navigate and wade through all of that stuff that's happening, I imagine?
Um, you know, no matter what you do, if there's always going to be trolls, I feel like
Sure.
in the world we live in now, and um, I'm thankful for that in a sense because it's made me tough
Yeah.
to where I focus on what I'm doing, and no matter what comes in from the outside, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I grew up in Western North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains. Of course, I've got the high. William Lee Golden calls it the high lonesome sound. That's
Yeah.
what I grew up on. whether it be Southern gospel, bluegrass, whatever it may be. That's ingrained in me where I'm from. Um, you know, that's just what it is, and yeah, I guess it's unique, whatever. But
Who's there telling you it's okay to sound like that? Because I imagine if I'm a kid and I've got an incredible voice like that, but maybe it's yeah. I imagine you find out that you're vocally different and stuff like that, and people are gonna be mean and trolls and stuff. So you got to have somebody in your corner that's supporting you and telling you it's cool and it's all right and stuff like that. Who are those folks for you?
oh, well, my wife, number one, she's always been my biggest fan since day one. My parents, the Oak Ridge boys, and you know, here's the deal. At the end of the day, no matter who would have started with the Oak Ridge boys, they're all different from Joe Bonsall.
I know.
It wouldn't have mattered if it would have been Vince Gill, if it would have been Jimmy Fortune, and this is all just whatever. But whoever it may be, they're not Joe Bonsall. Joe Bonsall is Joe Bonsall. He was and will always be Joe Bonsall, and nobody can sound like him. And I think it would be um, quite weird if anyone would try to come out and imitate him. And he was himself. Um, he was the icon. Still is the icon. Will always be the icon. And nobody
So I
nobody in the
imagine
world could sound just like him.
Yeah, I
You know.
imagine you're probably getting a different kind of pushback then from what I'm talking about when you were a kid now because you're replacing a legend. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
and that there's a lot of pressure there, right? It's not like you want to have that pressure, right? You're just
Right.
so like
And
I mean
yeah.
those cutthroat fans are going to be like, well, he's no Joe Bonsall. Well, duh, he's not trying to be Joe Bonsall. He's trying to be Ben
Exactly.
James, right? So
Exactly.
how do you fill those shoes, like mentally, and just knowing that that's a part of your dynamic, like having to step into that role? Like, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Well, Dwayne Allen said it best one time. Dwayne Allen and all the guys, even the ones that are there now, they've replaced people before them because the Oak Ridge Boys have been around
Since
since
the
the 40s.
'40s, right?
And Dwayne Allen tells a story of somebody coming up to him one time and saying, "You can't feel Smitty Gatlin's shoes." And Dwayne Allen replied the best in saying, "Well, everybody's got their own pair of shoes." And, I don't, the Oak Ridge Boys, the icons that are still around, they're not going to be around forever. I'm not going to be around forever. And, I hope to do things past this. And, it's just everybody has their own pair of shoes.
Yeah,
And that's the way I look at it. And I never have I've never thought about replacing Joe Bonzel because you cannot replace Joe Bonzel.
right.
That's a childhood hero of mine and every facet of everything that he did. And I, I I feel it's an honor to step in with legends
Hmm.
and just try to fill the tenor role and just be myself plus help them out because if you're going to have a quartet, you need a tenor singer.
Hmm.
And, some people may not like it, but it'll be okay at the end of the
I
day,
think it's phenomenal, man, and you made a good point. Like I said, we just chatted with William, and like William and Dwayne and those guys are not original Oak Ridge boys. Like people don't realize that. Like there are no originals left; they're all gone,
Right.
right? So like,
Yeah.
go up to Dwayne Allen and tell him he's not an Oak Ridge boy or William Lee Golden.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't do it. Like
Yeah.
try doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't do it to Ben James either, and that's just the way it is. Um,
Thank you.
so I understand that in high school you kind of started gigging in a country band in high school. Is that right? Was this a little further from your bluegrass
Yeah.
roots?
Uh, yeah. And I didn't, man, I grew up singing so much stuff and listening to so much stuff. I would say, um, I grew up in bluegrass and southern gospel, but yeah, I had a little college band, or we were all college age in high school, called Old 18. My buddy Philip and Aaron, and yeah, it was fun. We did a little gigging here and there, and it was a lot of fun.
So how did you go from kind of that era, being in a cover band, a country band, and stuff like that, to I mean, I know you ended up in college for insurance and risk management, and played a lot of golf, things like that. How did you end up from that season of your life to kind of, meeting people like Jimmy Fortune and Doyle Lawson, and ending up with all of these opportunities? Take us through those step by steps.
Well, like you said, I went to college, did the thing, came back and worked a 9 to 5 job, and just in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to sing, and so I started just going to Nashville and made connections and met Jimmy Fortune. Next thing I knew, I went that night with him to the Station Inn and sang a song, and it all just led to me meeting Doyle Lawson and starting my music career. And I just knew I just wasn't cut out for just the 9 to 5 thing.
So
I always knew in the back of my mind I wanted to do music.
what was the time, like the time needed, I guess, to, because it just sounds so fluid. We went to Nashville, we met Jimmy, then I met Doyle. Like, how much time is there between all of this stuff happening for you?
Probably about a year or two, yeah,
Yeah.
of just coming out of college and meeting people and just getting lucky,
So you get to town. I imagine you're hitting the bricks, trying to meet people, go to venues, try to get into open mics, things like that. The typical
Yep.
Nashville way. Is that what's happening for you?
Yeah, and I was working on some music with a guy, and I was at Hilltop Studio one day recording something, and Jimmy Fortune was in the parking lot, and he came in, and we just hit it off, and that's where everything kind of changed for me. And it was cool because Jimmy Fortune, as a tenor singer, is an icon, not just in my mind, but
Yeah.
in the music industry. And he's just like a songbird. He's so angelic, and it was like I was starstruck. It's one of the first times I'd ever been starstruck, and then for him to be so kind and so gracious to help me out. That Jimmy Fortune will always hold a special spot in my life, really.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, looking back and knowing who you are and what you are as a singer and a performer, and knowing of all the people you could have possibly met in Nashville, Jimmy Fortune would seem to be the most perfect for
Yeah,
you to run into. He's the career path that you probably want for yourself, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, so just meeting that guy, and then for him to get it right, like to understand, wow, this kid has something. You mentioned luck. That's a part of that, isn't it? Just a huge part of your journey.
100%. Like you walk around Nashville, you can walk downtown or wherever, and you can say, "Wow, that's the best singer I've ever heard,"
Yeah,
and then you can turn around the corner and it's the best guitar player I've ever heard. But it's the people you meet, it's the connections, it's the timing. The cards have to fall in your favor.
yeah. And so
It's crazy.
you end up on the road ultimately with Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver. This is a huge
Hmm.
opportunity for a young guy.
Yeah.
So how are you eating this up at the time?
Well, what was cool is my parents grew. I grew up um, listening to Doyle Lawson through my parents because they were big fans, and um, it was pretty nuts. Just to in the bluegrass genre. I mean, you don't get any bigger than Doyle Lawson, and just to go from somebody just wanting to do this to just catapult into that role, and that was a lot of pressure. I mean, everything I've done in music's been a lot of pressure, but it's nuts that on a I went Wednesday night. I went to the Station Inn, got up and sang with Doyle or with Jimmy Fortune, and on Saturday at lunchtime I was auditioning for Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver, which is
Wow.
just a big turnaround.
Yeah. Man, let me
Pretty
ask you this.
nuts.
Something just popped into my mind. You talked about dealing with a lot of pressure your whole life, stepping into big shoes that were left behind for you. Where are you learning that as a young kid? Like being able to deal with pressure. Is that coming down from your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a preacher's kid in a small town. There's not much more pressure than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, man, I guess I had to grow up early, and looking back now, I'm very thankful for that.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I've been singing at funerals since I was probably 10 years old, and you know, I mean, being a preacher's kid in, in any form, you see people at their lowest and their highest, and you just kind of have to be personable, and you you just got to know how to talk to people. And it's not that it was, my parents gave me a great childhood and the most normal childhood that they could, really they did. And but on the flip side of that, you know, I had to learn how to talk to people. And it was a lot of pressure, but it was, looking back, I'm thankful now because I can talk to anybody, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
So
important, right? Like, I feel like life always kind of prepares us for what's coming next, right?
thousand
Yeah,
percent.
whatever that might be. Like, um, just from a personal standpoint, you know, I've been a karaoke host, I've been a professional wrestler, I've been a taxi driver, and now I talk to people, and I feel like all of those things prepared me for this season of my life. Just all those little things, right? So,
Always.
you can always kind of look back and see those little things that happen. But yeah, man, just looking at the trajectory of your career and just seeing the huge opportunities that were presented to you that you could have very easily screwed up every single one of them just by being a little bit nervous or not handling a note the right way. And you were prepared for those
Yeah,
things. Um,
that's right.
that's incredible stuff. So, I mean, I know the answer to this question, but I got to ask anyway. You put a lot of time and effort into your education, and you kind of bucked that for music. Do you have any regrets for that decision?
Not at all.
Yeah, I figured not.
No, not at all. No. I mean, I had a
Music's
great
more fun
time
than
in
insurance,
college.
isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 100%. But you know, again, I kind of always in the back of my mind knew what I was supposed to do. And, you know, I think God gives you a talent to use it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Now it's funny. A lot
that's
of
where it always
people.
was.
My wife is a novelist, and a lot of people will. A lot of novelists and writers will have the climax of their book written before the rest of the book is written, so you know the ending, and then they write the beginning, the middle, and work their way towards the ending. So if we know that your ending right now is the Oak Ridge Boys, you can kind of see how it was written before that to get you to that point, right? Like
Right.
the meeting Jimmy Fortune, the auditioning for Doyle, becoming part of that band, and then Doyle retires. You end up with another opportunity with Dailey and Vincent, and you end up getting that opportunity. You can see that whoever's in charge of this, God or whatever, is writing this story towards that Oak Ridge Boy ending, and you can see it's perfect. So take us
Yeah.
into that season where Doyle retires. This can be really frightening, I imagine, too, because you're on the road, you're probably living pretty well, having a lot of fun, and then Doyle retires, and you don't know where your path is going from there. So, first of all, was there a little bit of trepidation from that period, knowing that Doyle was retiring?
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, I look back and I realize that anytime a door is closed, another one opens.
Sure.
And that's where I've always known that this is what I'm supposed to be doing because, you know, it was scary. That was my first and only gig at the time. He would, you know, he announced his retirement, and I knew that the ending was near, and I got a call from Dailey and Vincent. So there's another door open.
Yeah.
Um, and through Dailey and Vincent, if I would have never got the call to go with Dailey and Vincent, I would have never met the Oak Ridge Boys.
That's right.
So, and it's not like a door closed with Dailey and Vincent, but through those guys, I met them. Um, and it's just wild that anytime something is ended, something else is there.
Yep.
So that just makes me feel like I'm on the path I need to be.
Right. And I just love it, too, because, again, it's so streamlined, right? Like Doyle
Yeah.
retires, and then there's this opportunity with Dailey and Vincent. They scooped you up, man. They knew the talent you had. And they were like, bro, we need to make that call. And again, like I said about storytelling, eventually you become an oak, and this is the group that introduced you to that group.
Right.
So you're performing with both now, right?
Well, I'm on the road, obviously, whenever the Oaks are on the road, but Doyle Lawson actually is going out for about seven, I think it's 7 shows this year. So we actually have our first show this weekend in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
So yeah, and I go out and fill in with Dailey Vincent anytime they need me, and still love those guys. And so yeah, I mean it's
Dude,
just awesome.
just a tough life, Ben. Just tough, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm touring with Doyle Lawson. Whenever Dailey and Vincent need me, I'm an oak. Like, holy crap, dude! Like, what a life. Yeah,
Blessed, very
yeah.
blessed.
Imagine talk about that transition, kind of meeting the Oaks, them asking you to come over. How did that all take shape?
I met them with anytime anyone opens for the Oak Ridge Boys, most of the time on Elvira, they'll have the opening act come out and sing it on stage with them. And we were in Wheeling, West Virginia. I was with Dailey and Vincent. Elvira came up, and I was standing beside Joe, which was crazy. I had my phone up, videoing and
Imagine,
stuff, and
yeah.
he handed the mic to me, and he said, "Sing the second verse." And so I did it. Thank God I knew the words, obviously. But I created a relationship with those guys. And yeah, I mean, Joe was going downhill. They reached out and said, "Hey, Joe can't make it. Are you interested?" I'm like, 100%. And that's what happened. And I went out, gosh, 3 years ago with them, and um, still going.
Yeah. So
It's crazy.
I know that the Oaks have temporary fill-ins all the time, but this became permanent for you. And when it becomes permanent,
Yeah.
like how do you take that in as somebody who's such a fan of music? I mean, if it was me, I would be like standing in front of the mirror going, "Yeah, I'm an Oak Ridge boy," right? Like,
Mhm.
that never happens.
No, I have so much respect for those
I
guys.
understand.
And the way my thought process is I get to help these guys out because a guy went down and they needed somebody, and the somebody just happened to be me. And I think that's pretty flippin' cool.
It is indeed.
So there's a lot of pressure, like you said, and I never really thought I was so excited, and my friend Jill told me it's coming, the hate, the trolling, all the things are coming, and I never thought people could be that mean,
It's horrible,
and
man. I'll
it
tell
is,
you.
but it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm friends with Bucky Hurd, who is filling in. He's not filling in. He is the new Bobby Hatfield in the Righteous Brothers with Bill Medley.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
Bucky's a good friend of mine. So I see all of the hate and everything that he goes through. I've been to live shows of his where people are literally booing him because he's not Bobby Hatfield, and that's just ridiculous to me.
Right.
Like I understand loyalty and I understand liking what you like, but man, it's like too far is too far, right?
Yeah. Well, especially the world we live in now, the internet, people feel like everybody's got their platform and they feel like they can say and do whatever, and there's no
Yeah.
consequence. And hey, more power to them. You
Yeah,
have
it's all
fun.
about clickbaiting and views and getting
Yep.
people to watch and all of that. It's so dumb. We've lost the moral high ground, I think, sometimes in this country and in this world.
Yep.
Really, it's worldwide, honestly.
Hmm.
But I love that you have the right mentality for this. You know, you're not going to replace a legend. Nobody can be replaced. Look, legendary or not, you can't replace another human being. That's just not possible. The only thing you can
Nope.
be is the best version of yourself that you can. And then hopefully people dig it, and if they don't, that's on them too, right? So
Yep.
I just love that. And so you do write songs as well. So like, what's that look like for you? Like you're doing all of these different roles, and all of them mostly vocally based, filling in here and there. But you're also a writer. You're also a singer songwriter. So what's that kind of brand of Ben James look like for you?
I've got a lot of stuff saved for the future. Yeah, I mean, I still write, not as much as I should, but I still write here and there, and I've got a lot of stuff in the tank ready to go for one day.
So is the ultimate goal for you to be Ben James, artist?
Yeah, eventually.
So what?
Yeah.
How does it feel to you if that's the ultimate goal? Man, this is going to sound like a negative question, but I don't mean it that way. But like, how does it feel for you to ultimately have that goal to be an artist? To almost kind of keep putting that on the back burner because you have these phenomenal freaking opportunities coming up.
Um, Here's the deal. I told Dwayne Allen and William Lee Golden and Richard Sturban that I'm with them until the end, and no matter how long they want to work, I'm here. And if you'd have told 10-year-old Ben that he would get to sing with the Oak Ridge Boys, I wish it could last forever.
Sure.
But yeah, eventually I would love to do my own thing. Whenever that comes, I'm patient, so it's all good.
I was
However
just
long
saying,
this lasts, I'm along for the
yeah,
ride.
just a curious question for me because the Oak Ridge Boys are formulated in such a way where the singular individual name doesn't really matter because it can be interchangeable. So, like when William retires, somebody can replace him, and when Dwayne retires, somebody can replace him, and the band goes on, the legacy goes on. It was that way in the '40s. It can be that way today. So I mean,
Yeah,
I could imagine at some point in time you could be the longest, tenured Oak Ridge boy, right?
yeah. I mean, if the cards fall that way, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's set
mean,
up
yeah.
in that way, right? I mean, the Oaks is set up for that, like
Yep.
perpetuity. They could be a band forever,
Yep.
you know?
You're right. 100%.
Yeah.
It would take a lot of magic, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, it would take a lot of magic, man. It sure would. Because, I mean, we're not
Yeah.
talking about, like, there's a lot of bands and vocal groups out there where you have the one guy that's kind of leading the way and being awesome. That's not what
Right.
this is, bro. Like, the Oaks is the Oaks. All of them are stars. They've always been
Yep.
stars, right? Everybody's leading the way. Man, I love that so much. Have you had a solo project other than the singles? I know there's a couple of singles, but
I did a bluegrass album called Wonderland. But other than that, no, nothing other than that.
okay, very cool. Because I do love the two singles that we're talking about today. Obviously, the "I Hear You Calling." We're going to talk about "Teardrops in Tennessee" later. Which, by the way, one of the coolest freaking songs I've heard in a long time. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really
thank
good.
you.
But I'm excited to chat about that here in a while. So yeah, man, I'm excited for you to get out on your own at some point. You are a phenomenal songwriter. Obviously, you have the vocals. Um, Talk about kind of cultivating your vocals over time as a tenor, as kind of an upper register singer. Are you trying to be versatile, or are you just really focusing on that one register as you grow within that craft?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a true tenor. I'm blessed with a pretty wide range.
That's why I
I don't
asked the
get to,
question because I noticed that
yeah,
in your songs. Yeah,
yeah, and I don't get to show that much because I can sing high, and not a lot of men can sing high.
right.
So, that just makes you unique in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I can sing high forever. We're not all Jenny
No.
Fortune.
Yeah, no, probably not. But what's that look like for you, like growing within your voice? Are you getting lessons? Like, are you becoming classically trained? Like, what does that look like for you as you're coming up? Or is it just organic?
Yeah, it's organic, man. I never had a
Wow.
vocal lesson. It's just my dad. My dad, he's my dad's got a great ear, and he was always my teacher. So it's just organic. Yeah,
Incredibly blessed, dude. Incredibly
yeah.
blessed. Wow, what a great
Thank
thing. Yeah, I love that. Man, we got Ben James here, and I want to talk about the second song that we just mentioned. It's called Teardrops in Tennessee. I'm actually going to include this song as part of the episode so folks can hear it as well. So tell us about this song, because it's a little bit different than I Hear You Calling.
Yeah, I was actually on the road with Doyle Lawson, and I crossed the Tennessee North Carolina border, and the song popped in my head. Yeah, I mean it's not real. It's just the thought came and it just happened.
And so again, vocally, I feel like the two songs are pretty different vocally. You do some things
100%.
different. So what are take us into that too, like having your vocals as a tool for your writing and using them in different ways in different songs.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you calling this like ridiculously high.
Right.
And the other one's not. So, it's cool to be able to show what you can do and then just kind of like chilling out a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I chose these two, because I wanted to show that
Right.
off to folks, right? Just to see, yeah, this is the same guy, like singing both of these
Right.
songs, right? It's so cool. This is a bunch of fun segments that we put out as shorts and stuff to create buzz. You'll understand why we call it by the numbers as we go. So everybody enjoys these, myself included. So the first one for by the numbers is called Rapid Fire. So I'm going to ask you 7 questions, and you have 90 seconds to answer them. And if you don't,
Okay.
something diabolical is going to happen to you, and you're thinking of something right now. Whatever that is going to happen to you, all right?
All right.
So
Deal.
90 seconds rapid fire with Ben James. Here we go. What is your current song obsession?
Yellow River, Doyle Lawson.
Love it. What is something people may not know about Ben James?
I love the water flowers.
Let's go. What is one thing that is not fun about the music business?
Egos.
I love it. All right. In all of history, where is a place you'd love to be a fly on the wall in?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Let's see. The meeting room when they went and got Bin Laden.
Very cool. All right. What is your personal best accomplishment?
Shooting under 70 in golf.
Let's go. All right. What is one thing that's still on your bucket list?
Play music in Hawaii.
Okay. Get you a ukulele. It'll work. All right.
Right.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned directly from music?
Timing.
You absolutely killed that, bro. That might be the best rapid fire we've ever had. All right. By the numbers for the number 6 is called What the Heck. You'll see why this is called What the Heck as we ask the questions. These questions are chosen by random number generator before the show, so do not blame me for these questions. All
Deal.
right. Number 1, why do we say take a crap instead of leave a crap?
Ooh. I don't know. That's a good question.
It is. I agree. I don't get it. All right.
I don't get that one.
Number 2, would you rather have to read aloud everything you read or sing everything you have to say aloud?
Sing.
Okay. So you don't think you'd get tired of singing at that point, and that's kind of your job?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. All right. Number 3, if a cow laughs too hard, do you think milk comes out of its nose?
If it's pregnant.
Number 4, are you an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
And number 5, which song do you wish you had written?
The Gambler.
All right. Great song. Number 6, last one. Do you think that SpongeBob feels every single hole in his body?
He has to.
Makes sense, right?
Yep.
What a rotten existence to live, I think, right? Golly. All right, that was What the Heck. By the numbers for the number 5 is called Top 5. Tell us your top 5 favorite songs that you have performed live.
Oh, man.
Your favorite top 5 songs that you get to sing.
Let's go Blue Train, Doyle Lawson. Cumberland River, Dailey and Vincent. Let's go with Fancy Free, Oak Ridge Boys. Y'all Come Back Saloon, Oak Ridge Boys, and Elvira, number 5.
I love it. All right, by the numbers for the number 4 is called Mount Rushmore. Who is on Ben James's Mount Rushmore of best 4 bluegrass artists?
Ooh. Doyle Lawson, got to. Dailey Vincent, it's there. Let's go with Blue Highway, number 3. Number 4 is going to be the Johnson Mountain Boys.
Wow. Okay. By the numbers for the number 3 is my favorite segment every week. It's called Impactful. Name us 3 people that impacted your life in some way, and then tell us the biggest thing you learned from each of those folks.
My dad. I learned how to be the best of myself. Number 2, I'm gonna go with my mom. Always the encourager. Always have my back. And number 3, I'll go with my wife Maggie, because she's always in my corner.
Is that what did she teach you though?
Patience.
Great answer.
And I'm still working on it.
And we always are. We always will be. All right. By the numbers for the number 2 is called gratitude, Ben. What are the 2 things you are most grateful for?
I'm grateful for my family, and I'm grateful for my career.
Awesome. Last one for By the Numbers is for the number 1. This is called One Artist. This is going to be tough because you are performing or touring with 3 of them. Who is one artist you wish the whole world knew about?
Ronnie Millsap.
Great answer. Always go with an artist you're not currently working with.
That's right. I love all of you.
Equally, might I add.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Last segment could be the hardest one for you to answer. This is called Who Do You Think You Are? So who is Ben James?
I'm an introvert that loves performing on stage. Love to hunt, fish, golf. Love to be with my family. I love to sleep under 5 blankets in the 65-degree room.
There's your did you know right there.
This is it. There you go.
Man.
When the day's over, I just like to be by myself. Cold room, blankets, golf channel. Let's go.
You did great for an introvert on this interview, I got to tell you, Ben. I knew you were almost immediately. I was like, all right, he's an introvert. I got you. We'll figure it out. But you did great.
That's right.
Guys, he's on tour with everybody at this moment. So Dailey and Vincent, Doyle's got 7 shows, Doyle, Lawson, and Quicksilver. Of course, he's on the road with the Oaks. The Oaks have a brand new record that's coming out as well. I'm not even. Do you know when that's coming out, Ben?
I have no idea.
Are you on that record?
I am.
I thought so. So I think, is this the first project you'll be recording with them?
Second.
Second one? What's that like being in the studio with them, man? That's got to be different.
You just don't feel worthy to be there.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's another pinch me thing,
Yeah. So you guys, you need to get on board with the Oak Ridge Boys. They have new music coming out still in 2026. They're still touring. I was telling William, man, I was like, how do you guys tour so freaking much? Like, I go to Walmart and I'm tired, and these guys are, like, on the road 200 days a year. Like, I can't even imagine, dude. It's crazy. So you guys make sure you're following. The Oak Ridge Boys is just at Oak Ridge Boys on all social medias. The website is oakridgeboys.com. There's a nice write-up on there about Ben as well that you guys can check out. And make sure you check out Ben's music as well. He's on Spotify and YouTube and all the different places you can consume music. Just look him up. It's Ben James. And we're going to obviously include one song on here as well. Man, I appreciate you doing this for us, Ben. Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime.
Hello, this is William Lee Golden with the Oak Ridge Boys, and I'm listening to Boston Chris.